Hey guys, it's Matthew from Sling Pilot Academy. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the aviation shortage, why it's a great time to get into the career right now, and why you should do it at Sling Pilot Academy. Let's get to it. So to get a true understanding of why Sling Pilot Academy, we first have to talk about why become a commercial pilot at all. Let's talk about the pilot shortage overall. Just after COVID, the airline industry hit an all-time peak of need. Since then, there's been a slight downturn, and as a result, people are tending to think that that shortage is completely done with. But that's just not the case. We're in a downturn right now that's being caused by a shortage of aircraft from both Boeing and Airbus. It's not that we don't need pilots going forward. We do need pilots going forward. Our need for them has actually grown. Boeing did an outlook in 2018 to find out how many pilots are really needed worldwide. And what they found was pretty crazy. We needed 87 new pilots every single day for the next 20 years. Redoing the same study in 2023, Boeing found that we actually now need 89 new pilots every day. People are under this impression that the shortage is done, when in reality, over the long term, we actually need more pilots. It's a short-term downturn that's going on right now, and it's not going to last forever. These pilots are going to continue to be needed to deliver packages, to fly people, to be air medics. We need pilots in every aspect of life, and that's not going to go away anytime soon. So how did this pilot shortage start? Well, it's been growing over the last 2 decades, and really it comes down to the fact that aviation previously was less accessible, more expensive, and the career really didn't have as many benefits or pay guaranteed. So it was a career of passion where you still needed to get a 4-year degree on top of everything that you were doing for training. It wasn't cheap. There weren't accelerated programs to help you get through these ratings in a timely manner. With less military pilots coming into commercial aviation, and less people putting themselves through the training, over time, we had the same amount of people retiring at the age of 65 and timing out, but less people coming into the industry. Aviation took a major downturn after the 9/11 attacks and the 2008 market crash, which caused people to travel less by plane, either because they didn't want to or because they couldn't afford it anymore. This caused some airlines to furlough pilots because there weren't the same protections and benefits that pilots have now. During COVID, that's when things in the industry really changed, because we had this shortage that was already looming, growing in the background, and then we had all airlines stop travel, stop flights. They couldn't afford to keep all of their pilots on. Instead of furloughing people and pushing people away, they gave early retirement to people that were within 5 years, depending on the company, and that really short-term increased that shortage. It boosted it up. That's why we saw that peak around COVID that we were talking about earlier, where it's been kind of the biggest demand that we've ever seen. Now that the demand isn't at that all-time high, you hear people talking, oh, the shortage is over, the demand is done. That's just not the case. We still have some of the highest demand in aviation history. Just because it's not at the all-time highest peak does not at all mean that it's not a great time to get into this career. So let's talk about benefits. One of the favorite benefits of most pilots, and sometimes their immediate families, depending on who you work for, flight benefits. At most airlines, you as a pilot and your immediate family get to fly for reduced cost or for free, depending on the situation. So that's definitely something that you can go utilize within the US or outside of the US if you fly for a major airline. The other benefit of becoming a pilot now is good career pay. It wasn't always like that. Starting pay at the regional airlines 20 years ago was $20, $30 an hour. And you could expect to be making that for 5, 10 years before you ever got a shot at going to the majors. And that's really just not the case anymore. Now, you're getting $100,000 a year at your first year at a regional airline. Each year that you work at the regional airline, your pay is actually going to increase. You're able to move on to a major airline after that. You're gonna take a slight pay cut by then, but you're doing that because you know that senior captain pay at a major airline is about $590,000 a year for a wide body, something like a 777 or a big Airbus. Between the good starting pay as a first officer and the continually increasing pay that gets great by the time you're a senior captain, your overall career pay is really above that of something like an engineer and on par or above something like a doctor or a lawyer, which are all things that are commonly recommended to people that are trying to choose a career. Aside from the demand, travel, and great pay, the other thing that differentiates being a pilot from any other career is the schedule. Each month, you can only fly a total of 100 hours, capping out at 1,000 for the year. So if you actually divide that by the 12 months, on average, you're flying about 83 to 84 hours per month. In terms of your monthly schedule, this equates to working about 15 days of a month and having the other 15 off. The schedule of that depends on your seniority. As you get more senior, you get the first pick of the schedule. So you get to take all the best flights, you don't need to fly Christmas, none of the holidays. If you want to, you'll actually get rewarded for that and sometimes get paid double or even triple time of what you normally do. When you're junior, you will have to take some of those days that the captains don't want and that the senior FOs don't want either, but you know that as you get more and more into your career, your flexibility and your choices for your schedule are going to get better and better. Having that much additional free time each month and throughout the year means that a lot of pilots have huge other hobbies or even other careers that they get to start, bringing in even more income if that's what they're looking for. Since aviation is vital to so many things in our daily life, airline pilot is far from the only career. Some other options in the aviation industry include cargo, private jets, Part 135 charter operations, and more. There are so many opportunities out there, and really once you're qualified, the world is your oyster. In order to fly as a commercial pilot, there are 7 common ratings and certifications that you need to get. Those are the PPL, or Private Pilot's License, the Instrument Rating, the Commercial Single Engine, the Commercial Multi-Engine, the Certified Flight Instructor, the Certified Flight Instructor Instrument, and the Multi-Engine Instructor. With all of these 7 ratings, you're not only qualified to fly planes, get paid to do so, and fly in zero visibility, but you're also able to teach all of those things as well, and that's what helps you build time after you're done. How many hours you need to get hired at the next step depends on where you want to go. If you want to go to an airline, a 121 scheduled flight operation, then that means you need 1,500 hours. The easiest and quickest way to do that is to work as a CFI and build your time that way. Some unscheduled flight operations like charter companies or private jet companies allow you to start working with them with less than 1,500 hours depending on their availability and their need at the time. So now the big question is, why Sling Pilot Academy? Sling Pilot Academy has quite a few differentiators compared to a lot of the other programs and schools out there, but one of the main things is the timeline. The course timeline for PPL or Private Pilot is about 3 months. The next course, Instrument, will be about the same. Together, the 2 of these courses are the base of all of the knowledge that you're going to build throughout the time that you're at the program. Commercial Single will be next, taking about 1 month. It's honing your skills flying and not a lot of new book information. The Commercial Multi is a quick add-on to the Commercial Single that allows you to fly in a plane that has more than 1 engine. This takes about 1 to 2 weeks. The CFI takes about 4 weeks. Its main focus is not on new information, but rather learning how to teach or convey the information that you've been learning yourself. The CFII is an add-on that allows you to instruct instrument students. This takes about 1 to 2 weeks. The MEI, or Multi-Engine Instructor, is the final add-on that allows you to teach in the multi-engine aircraft. From 0 time with no experience whatsoever, this whole program takes about 9 to 12 months. If you've already done your private, then you can do our From PPL and 80 Hours course, which takes about 6 to 9 months and just removes the private. The expectation to stay on track and in the academy is on average 5 blocks per week of flight or simulator session. This means making up any missed flights due to weather, illness, or any other factors, and it's a big effort on the part of the student to make sure this happens. Not maintaining this cadence on a weekly basis will have a dramatic effect on your program duration, as you can see on this chart. In terms of hours, you get a total of 280 hours in the program. 200 hours will be in our single engine aircrafts, including the Sling Trainer and some short stints in the Super Decathlon. You'll get 30 hours in our multi-engine aircraft, and those will be in the twin technos. Finally, you'll get 50 hours in the AATD, or Advanced Simulator. This time counts just like aircraft time with a CFI, and it will go towards your 1500 as well as your 250 for commercial. Once you've completed the program and you have about 280 hours under your belt, you need to make up the remaining 1200 and change. The best way to do that is becoming an instructor, and here at Sling, we guarantee you an interview. The vast majority of our graduates will stay on as instructors because it's the fastest and most effective way to build hours. Not to mention, it's really good experience giving all of the knowledge that you've just learned to the students that are coming in after you, because it keeps it fresh. And airlines, they know that. As an instructor here, you can know that you'll have multiple students and you'll be flying on a daily basis. The other thing that differentiates us, even from the other accelerated programs out there, is our pricing. We're realistic with what we offer you, and we're always roughly 20% cheaper than any of our nearest competitors. Let's talk about our three main pillars here at Sling Pilot Academy: safety, efficiency, and community, in that order. Safety is now, and forever will be, our #1 priority. We have a great relationship with the FAA, and we've put multiple things in place to help make sure that we're keeping this environment as safe as we possibly can. One of those things is a flight safety management system. This is something that's normally implemented by an airline so that someone can anonymously submit something that they've heard, seen, or been a part of. And this isn't to get anyone in trouble. This is mainly just to figure out what are things that are happening regularly that shouldn't be, and what rules can we put in place to stop people from doing those things before it becomes an incident or accident. Another thing that we do for safety is engine swaps. When our engines hit their TBO of 2,000 hours every 1.5 to 2 years for the entire fleet of Slings, instead of rebuilding those engines and putting them back on the line, we actually sell them as used and buy brand new engines from Rotax. This costs us a little more, but it's peace of mind for us and for our students and their families, knowing that the engines they're using are brand new and not something that's been being used for the last 30, 40 years. Coming in at a close second after safety is efficiency. We want to get you through on time, on budget, and not create any unnecessary roadblocks for you along the way. At Sling, we have a variety of resources to help with the efficiency of your journey, including new and efficient planes with modern avionics, easy refueling options that help you save time, unlimited basic simulator, which allows you to practice a lot of the things that you're going to need to do for your instrument rating on the Garmin G1000 platform without having to pay any money whatsoever. This is available for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week as an Academy student. There's open study area. This means that students don't have to leave just because they're done with their class or done with their flight. They're able to hang out and sit at couches, desks, beanbags, talk with other students, talk with instructors, ask for help, or even offer it, and really buy into the community that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. We also have ground school classes with designated specific instructors. We don't just let any instructor go up in front of a class and start teaching. They have to want to do it and be good at it, but they get rewarded. We pay them more hourly to teach on the ground than we do to fly in the plane. We want to make sure that our students are getting the best teaching and best information given to them the whole way through the course. For the private and instrument ratings, which are the first two, you can expect to have ground school for 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday, every day. After you've built the base of your knowledge through those two ratings, the remainder of them are going to have classes that we call boot camps, where instead of coming in every day for 2 hours, you'll come in for a specified amount of time per rating. If there are any topics that you're struggling with after going through it yourself and going to the ground school classes, then that's where the one-on-one Under My Wing program comes into play. This allows Academy students to get one-on-one help anytime they need it on the ground. How are we able to do this for free? Well, it benefits everybody involved. When you're at the beginning of the program, you get to ask for free help anytime you need it, and you get it. As you move on, after you get your commercial rating and you're starting to get into those instructor ratings where you're learning how to teach and give information, that's when you get on the other end, and you're the one who starts to mentor and volunteer your time. This benefits you at the end of the program because you're going to be taking check rides or tests where the FAA examiner is pretending to be a student. They're gonna sit there and pretend to struggle on a topic, and you're gonna have to help them. If you go up there and it's like you're reading a definition out of a book, they're gonna know that you just have that memorized. They're gonna raise their hand and go, oh, you know what? I don't get it that way. Can you explain it to me a different way? If you've never been cut off mid-explanation before, it might really throw you off on your check ride. But if you've helped 10, 20, 30, 40 students that have really been struggling, you're gonna have it down. And that check ride is gonna be a piece of cake. So no matter what, whether you're at the start of the program or at the end, the Under My Wing program is gonna benefit you. Our scheduling team here ensures that you have regular flights and that when you're ready for a check ride, they get that set up for you as well. Finally, we have a designated Sling maintenance team as well as a direct relationship with our main Sling factory in South Africa. As a student, this is a huge benefit to you. This means if a student pulls a plane into a hangar and damages the rudder, that plane isn't gonna be sitting there for weeks on end, waiting for a part or waiting for maintenance to get to it. Instead, we have the parts next door, the people to put them together, a paint booth to get it finished up, and the maintenance crew and test pilots all here to make sure that our planes are ready to get up and running as soon as possible. Between scheduling, maintenance, and our large fleet of advanced trainers, you're never gonna have to worry about getting flight time. Our third and final pillar is community. A lot of schools don't really take that into account. They give you the information and say, good luck, if this is for you, you'll figure it out. That's not how it is here at Sling. Having a good community starts with treating students like people instead of like numbers. Through offering resources and helping our students along the way, we encourage growth and push our students to do better. The industry standard for accelerated program dropout is about 40%, whereas for us, it's between 5 and 6. When people are less worried about who's gonna drop out and who's gonna finish, they can take the time to help each other out and realize that, hey, I do have time to help my fellow student. Even though I'm busy right now, helping them is actually going to help me because I'm gonna be better at teaching. This tight-knit community allows you to practice teamwork and teaching throughout your entire training. It also makes it easier and more enjoyable because you know that you have all your friends surrounding you that are there to help you out when you need it. Not to mention, aviation is a very small industry and you get to build a tight network of people that you're gonna see on and off for the rest of your career, whether it's in the same cockpit or at the airport as you guys are getting on 2 different planes. The Under My Wing program, which we already talked about in the efficiency pillar, is also a huge part of why the community is so good here. People are used to asking for help and offering help every day, and that means that even if you're not going through that mentorship program officially, you're still going to be able to get help through your friends, through other instructors, or through people that you know here at Sling, just because they're going to want to help you out since they received that same help. Knowing that you can get help whenever you need it takes a huge weight off of your shoulders as a student, and it allows you to focus on the important stuff, the ground school, the flying, and the enjoyment. Sling's connections and partnerships will continue to help you even after you've completed your training. SkyWest is the biggest regional airline in the world, and they're highly regarded for their airline training and safety. On top of that, they have direct connections with American, United, Delta, and Alaska Airlines. This means that unlike going to your average regional, where you have 1, maybe 2 options afterward, you have 4 options plus, because not only do you have the direct options of SkyWest, you also have the ability to get hired on at other major airlines or cargo companies because they know you went to SkyWest. Our partnership with them allows you to take advantage of their pilot pathway program, which is a huge deal. As an elite training partner with them, from day 1 of your training here, you get to start building company seniority up to 2 years, which makes a really big difference when you're trying to get a good sim time on your training days there, or when you're trying to choose the location you want. As you're building that seniority throughout the program, each month, SkyWest sends somebody out to give you interview prep. This means that by the time you get your guaranteed interview from SkyWest at the end of your training, you're gonna know exactly what's on there, and it's up to you to make sure that you're ready for it. Finally, SkyWest offers a $15,000 tuition reimbursement. This means if you decide to go with them, then that's one extra benefit that you're gonna get. Starting pay at SkyWest as a first officer is $93 an hour, which equates to about $100,000 a year in your first year. So whether you decide to stay at SkyWest for your whole career or to use it as a stepping stone to move on to a major, it's a great option. You may be asking yourself, what are my next steps now? What do I do? The best thing to do is get in the air. When you get up into the sky, you'll know if it's for you. What are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to schedule a tour right now. Thanks for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. Do you have any extra questions about becoming an airline pilot or getting into the aviation career? Drop a comment down below and we'll get it answered for you. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel and we really appreciate it.